first thing that I use is my bio oil and my Kevin Aquan skin enhancer. Not even that much. Like, this is all I picked up. This really small amount here. Super small amount. Just take a drop of the bio oil, put it on the back of my hand. You just rub that in, and it totally spreads the foundation out, and a little goes a long way. I take what's left over on my finger from rubbing it in on the back of my hand, and I start at the center of my face. Like so. And I just spread this out, honey. You're in a hurry, you don't have all day, and so whatever's left over on the foundation brush, just go ahead and put that on your lids. That's what I do. So then I take my beauty blender, I make sure it's damp, always. I kind of just go in with it and pat, pat, pat. Nothing too detailed, I just make sure I do this just to smooth everything over and to make sure there's no like leftover lines from the foundation brush. So from there, I apply my concealer. I like to use the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer along with a little bit of the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I like to mix the two. I like to use this one because it gives me that full coverage that I love, but I also love to use this one because it kind of just highlights the face a little bit more than this one. The only thing that sucks is it's kind of thin, so it's not as heavy duty as this concealer is, but I love combining them. So you have to remember, we're moving fast here, so just pop a little bit underneath the eye, like so. You just start patting it all out. And I like to drag a little bit down the center of my nose and a little bit on my chin. I take my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. I take only one pump and that is all. I just take half of it off my hand and pop it right underneath the eye. So then I take my Japanese finishing powder. You guys have seen this in several of my previous videos. I use it all the time. And it's their pressed finishing powder. As you can see, it's like, look at all that pan there. I've been using this up, girl. And then I just pat it on there. From there, I take my Bin Eye Luxury Powder in the shade Buff. I get a little bit of that powder, because it's loose, and I just put it on like a flat surface, I take my damp sponge. You have to remember that the sponge is not wet, the sponge is damp. So it's totally fine. So you just press it in there and you pop that right underneath the eyes. I kind of leave it there for a little bit. The process of just letting the loose powder just kind of sit on your skin for a little bit, that's called baking, ladies. So let it bake for a little bit. From there, I move on to the eyebrows. So I use my IT Cosmetics Universal Brow Pencil. So I basically outline my brow first. To make sure it's like the shape that I want it to be. Like so. Once I have the shape that I'm going for, it's all outlined already, I then take my powder and I use a matte shadow by MAC called Brown Script, and this is what it looks like. And I take my angled brow brush by Sephora, number 20, to do this. And all I'm doing is just filling in the rest of my brow and kind of going over that pencil as well to help set that pencil. Once that's all worked in there, I then go back to check on this powder that's been baking, and I take my Color du Jour number 20 brush, looks like this, and I go ahead and just gently sweep that from underneath. Like so. If I have enough time to carve out my brows, I take the time to carve out my brows. If I'm pressed for time and I don't really have like that much time for all of that, then what I just did is just, that's what I'm working with for the day. But if I can carve out my brows, I'm super happy about that always. So I just take like half a pump, well that was like a whole pump there, and a flat brush. I don't remember where I got this from. I don't remember if I got it from the makeup show, from Crown Brush, or what, or BH Cosmetics, I don't remember. But you can use any flat brush. A prime example of a flat brush would be MAC 242's brush. So if you don't know what that looks like, Google it, girl, and get you a flat brush. So you can do this step if you wish. I then move on to my powder foundation all over my face. So for my powder, I use the MAC Studio Fix powder, and my shade is NC30. And I use the Real Techniques number 100 brush. is applied, I then go on to the contouring of my face. I just take my NYX bronzer. This is shade 03 medium, and I take just like an angled fluffy brush, and I just start to contour my face a little bit. So I carve out the cheekbone first a little bit, or try, and then I just start blending in circular motions. And then I take my Smashbox brush. This came in their full exposure palette. I use the flat-ended side to carve out my nose. Then I take the fluffy side and put that all over my lid. And then I kind of just blend upward with the remaining product that's left over on the brush. And then I take my highlight. This is a highlight that I got from Sally's Beauty Supply like years ago. So the same brush that we used to sweep away the bin eye powder, the Color du Jour number 20 brush, it's the same brush that we're going to use for our highlight here. So I just take a little bit like that, and I just pop that highlight here, like so. In with my bronzing brush, and I kind of just blend it in a little so there aren't any like harsh lines between the highlight and the contour. From there, you can't forget your mascara. So as of lately, I've been using the MAC False Lashes mascara. So you can see the difference there in my lashes. And then I just take the leftover product from the brush and I wiggle that into my bottom lash row. The final part of this whole step is the lips. As of lately, I've been really loving my BH Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. This particular one is called Muse. So this is the natural everyday look that I love wearing every day, and it just looks effortless, and I always get so many compliments on how flawless my face looks. So I love this look. This is like my go-to.